Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Friday Charge, brought to you by EV Geek Studios. As always, we are your hosts, Joel and Sebastian. And today, September 19th, 2025, we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about there's a electric pickup that's not actually happening. There's a new EV that has not even started selling yet and is in trouble. We've got some cool van news. We've got some interesting tax credit updates and a couple other topics. So without further ado, let's plug in and get started. All right, our first story of the night shouldn't come as it's a little bit of a surprise, but it's not a surprise.
It's not a surprise.
Ram's electric pickup truck is dead. So at the end of last week, Ram sent out a notice announcing that they were ending the Ram REV project. The Ram 1500 REV was expected to be the brand's fully electric pickup truck, promising a bigger battery and more range than its competitors. The truck was expected to have, on the entry models, a 168 kilowatt-hour battery pack offering 350 miles of range, or a 229 kilowatt-hour battery pack offering 500 miles of range. Now, I say this shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody because this is happening after numerous delays. The truck was originally going to be released at the end of 2024. Then it was delayed to 2025. Then delayed to 2026. And most recently delayed to mid-2027. And now it's dead.
Gone.
Ram does, however, still plan on producing the Ram 1500 Ram Charger, which is the brand's range extended electric vehicle. For those uninitiated, that is essentially a plug-in hybrid. It will have a much larger battery pack than a typical plug-in hybrid does, but in the most basic sense, it's a plug-in hybrid. And if this isn't confusing enough already, the Ram 1500 Ram Charger has been renamed. It will be known as the Ram 1500 REV.
Rev. It's just lazy.
So the Ram 1500 REV, formerly known as Ram Charger, I feel like this is a Prince situation,
Yes.
was expected to feature a 92 kilowatt-hour battery pack paired with a V6 engine, 2 electric motors, and has an expected range of 690 miles. This new REV is expected to launch in 2026, although I would not hold my breath.
It's not launching in 2026. That's my guess. I mean, we've kind of talked about this, Sebastian. We knew it was not kind of delay, and we kind of figured we'll believe it when we see it, and now we won't see it. Are they doing it because of the tax credit? I mean, I don't even know if it would have qualified for the tax credit.
I think it is currently right now.
They're just scared.
I think Stellantis, which sounds like a pill you're supposed to take at night anyway.
For high blood pressure,
something like that. I think Stellantis is having some just trouble in general.
Mm-hmm.
I get that vibe.
Yep.
I feel like there's some evidence for it too, but just the vibe too. And I think that probably played into it. I think the slow sales of the Wagoneer S and Charger EV probably play into it some. And I don't think they're wrong in stating that the market for full-size electric trucks is probably not what it needs to be. Mm-hmm. Now, I personally feel like this is a chicken and egg situation. Yes, we have a couple electric full-size trucks. We have the Silverado Sierra EV, which offer big range, but they're pretty high priced, which then prices them out of the market compared to being able to just walk into a dealership and buy a gas 1500 for 50 grand, and calling it done.
Yep.
So you've got the chicken and egg in that direction, or the more affordable option like the F-150 Lightning that then has a lot less range than the Silverado and all that. So then you don't feel like you can easily tow with it without having to stop constantly, which people do. People make it work. It's not a bad experience, like a terrible experience or whatever, but it's a consideration because, again, compared to a Chevy Silverado, Ford F-150 gas truck that you stop after however many miles, you put $70-$80 of gas in it and you just leave. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is a chicken and egg situation of, I think if Ram did actually make a vehicle with 500 miles of range at an affordable, or not affordable, but a reasonable price.
Yep.
I think it could do well, but when the market currently doesn't have anything like that. So you have no sales numbers to back up that it would do well. I can also understand being conservative and kind of killing the product and leaning more into this plug-in hybrid situation as kind of a stepping stone between a full gas and full electric truck of being able to have a vehicle that can operate as an EV on its own, but also you can just take it to a gas station and put gas in it.
Yeah, and I don't think Stellantis has the ability right now to take big chances like this. I
Yeah,
think financially, they're not like Ford or GM where they're a little bit more stable financially. I think Stellantis is not. I mean, what they've just got a new CEO, I believe, or did Dodge Ram get a new CEO? I can't remember off the top of my
I
head,
don't
but I believe
remember.
they got a
There's
new
been a
American
couple of things
CEO.
going on
Yeah,
there.
a new American CEO. So I think they're hurting, and I think them taking a chance on this could possibly inflict more pain on the bottom line. So that's probably why they're saying not now, where you have Chevy and GM who have been popping out EVs left and right can take more of a risk on this. So,
Right.
I mean, I get it. I mean, I wasn't expecting to see it anyways. And the Wagoneer, from what we've heard from I mean, we can't even find a Wagoneer or a Ram Charger here in Arkansas to even try to review. Welcome to our state. From what I heard, it's not very like I'm not seeing very many glowing reviews from those two either. So it's not like, oh my gosh, they're cutting edge. They seem to be kind of just like run of the mill EVs with nothing special. So yeah, I mean,
Right.
I'll be curious to see once these plug-in hybrids. I think we're going to see more of them. I think we're going to see more of these plug-in hybrids start coming out in the next 2 to 3 years. I'm interested to see how well they work and what kind of range we're going to get on these.
Yeah, and I mean, and I know we've had this discussion before. I'm pretty certain we've had this discussion on a podcast at some point, but I know you and I have had the discussion before. I feel like plug-in hybrids were so like 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Like
So Prius.
we should have been doing that 5, 6 years ago to get people ready for the transition because at this point, I mean, at this point, I feel like it's here. There's
Yeah,
enough EVs on the road. There's been
you
enough
can't go
EV
back.
growth. I
Yeah.
was like, I don't feel like going backwards is the answer.
Yep.
Um, but
Like
we in
someone
the
who was
US,
thinking of buying an
honestly,
EV and not on the fence say, "Oh, plug-in hybrid. Oh yeah, that's what I'm going to do because I wasn't sure about an EV."
and
I don't
like,
think so.
and again, I feel like a plug-in hybrid made sense 6, 7 years
Yeah.
ago when the only EV options out there were Model S, Model X, which were stupid expensive,
Mhm.
or things like the Chevy Bolt, which was honestly expensive for its time.
Mhm.
You know, starting, I mean, it was initially like a $47,000 vehicle, which is
And the Leaf.
expensive for what it is.
And the Leaf.
Um, and then the Leaf, which had like no range.
Yeah.
That's a world where a plug-in hybrid makes sense
Yeah.
because it's for someone who doesn't feel like they can either deal with a small amount of range or doesn't want to spend big bucks to get a full electric vehicle. You go buy a
Mhm.
Chevy Volt. You
Yep.
go buy whatever. I don't feel like we had enough of those 7 years ago in the
Yep.
US. I feel like now automakers are trying to put these plug-in hybrids out, actually develop money or, put forth the money to develop these platforms when at this point, 300-mile EVs are not a dime a dozen.
Yep.
I
I mean,
mean,
that's the standard now is a 300-mile EV.
you can get an Equinox EV for 35 grand. You can get an Ioniq 5, you can get an EV6, you can get a Mustang Mach-E, you can get Optic if you want a luxury vehicle, you can get a Model X, oh, not Model X, a
And
Model Y, a Model 3, like,
and
they're
so
all over
much
the
more can go
place.
wrong with a plug-in hybrid. Just there's more
Right, because it's
there's
two
more
powertrains.
complication in the build there. So it's just more problems technical wise that could happen. So yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. I said this makes sense, and this would have made sense in 2020,
But I
2018.
can also
Yeah.
understand in the very specific pickup truck use case where it does make sense
Yeah.
for being able to go and just tow long distances without having to stop because essentially if you're cutting your battery range in half. Now, if you had a 500-mile range EV,
Yeah.
250 miles is probably not a bad thing to have, between stops. But I can also see the argument of just being able to just get in the truck and go. Into when you're towing, you stop when you want to stop, you get gas when you want to stop, like whatever. Like a truck is a very specific use case where I can understand and get behind a plug-in hybrid.
Hmm.
Um, but I also feel like we should just be developing battery tech that can charge faster and have higher energy density and just things like that.
Totally agree.
Moving on the subject of battery packs, Nissan's new Leaf is already in trouble. So Nissan's new Leaf has been met with praise before its official launch in the US, but if reports are to be believed, it may already be in trouble or at least hard to get. According to a new report by Nikkei, or Nikki, I'm sorry, I'm probably pronouncing that terribly.
Yep.
However, it was also picked up by Reuters and a couple other outlets. Nissan has cut the production of the new Leaf by more than half for September through November of this year. Allegedly, the reasoning for this reduction is due to a shortage of high voltage battery packs.
I
So
thought
this
we
is
were
a bummer,
past this. I thought we were past this.
Yeah, so this is a bummer
Yeah.
because the Leaf is supposed to be a vehicle that turns, please forgive me, a new leaf for the company. But now it seems like if they're going to be struggling to produce this vehicle for the next few months, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's for longer.
Yep.
And this comes at a time when Nissan continues to lose its market share in the US and globally. Nissan, for the first time, has slipped out of the top 10 global automakers by sales volume.
Wow.
Um, which is not I mean, that's a big deal for a
Yep.
brand like Nissan. And so, yeah,
So
anyway,
are they saying?
this,
I'm reading the article here from is it Inside EVs? Does it say why they're having issues with the battery packs or not?
not that I've seen.
Are they trying not to get them overseas due to tariffs? And
Well, they're building them in Japan, so I really
yeah,
don't know. They're building the cars in Japan and they're getting the batteries from a company that Nissan owns a partial stake in. So I don't know what the issue is.
I mean, are the batteries being built in Japan, or is Japan outsourcing the batteries to China? And that's where we have the issue with. I don't know. It doesn't really
I
say.
don't
That's it's
know.
odd because, this is something we heard 4 years ago with COVID. Like this was an issue. This this shouldn't
Right.
be an issue anymore. There's plenty of battery pack. Even the price of lithium has come down. So I mean, this shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It's just it's weird. It's weird. Something smells rotten. It's just weird. So I don't know. Just weird.
Yeah, I don't have anything else really to talk about on this other than this is kind of a bummer. I was a little excited
Yep.
to start seeing more of these new Leafs out, especially they're technically not even on sale yet. They
Yep.
started building them, but they haven't because they're trying to, I guess, build up an inventory before they start actually selling them, which I
Mm-hmm.
guess makes sense if you're not going to be producing that many of them.
Yep.
And yeah, but I mean, everything I've seen so far seems like it might legitimately be a pretty solid player,
Yep.
and it is allegedly still starting at 30 grand for the big battery. Um, and like that's the kind of stuff again that we were talking about before. 300-mile EV for 30 grand.
I'm assuming it's LFP.
I don't think so.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Wow. That could have cut some costs there too for him. Interesting.
Right.
Interesting.
Moving on. We might all get to see more bright drops. Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see.
Amazon this week confirmed that they have started testing out the Chevrolet Brightdrop van as a part of its goal to 100,000 electric delivery vans by 2030. This could be a nothing burger. Okay, let me just get that out of the way
Mm-hmm.
first, because Amazon did state that they are regularly testing out other electric vans, and they currently only have 12 of the Brightdrop delivery vans in their fleet. By comparison, Amazon currently operates roughly 24,000 Rivian delivery vans in their fleet. And Amazon still intends to keep their original agreement to take delivery of 100,000 RDVs by 2030.
That's pretty bold.
However, I think Amazon should buy as many EV vans from as many places as they want. And I could see the Brightdrop being a useful tool in their arsenal, as the Brightdrop can be had with up to 296 miles of range and with all-wheel drive, whereas the Rivian van tops out at 160 miles of range
Mm-hmm.
and it's front-wheel drive only. I still believe the Rivian van has a place. It's smaller, it's more compact, it's probably easier to maneuver. It's a great vehicle for city routes, right? But I could see the Brightdrop being a van that they could purchase for those longer routes, routes that maybe get a little further outside of the city center, a little further away from the
Yep.
fulfillment centers,
Maybe gravel
etc.
roads, dirt roads, things like that they have to deliver on.
Yeah,
That's
and
where
that's
all-wheel
where,
drive would come in handy.
right, and then just having more range to be able to make the bigger round trip.
Yep.
Um, And there's other options too. You got the e-Transit. You've got, I think there's an e-Sprinter now. I think there's an electric ProMaster either here or coming soon. But again,
There's the Mullinger.
The Mullen
The
one.
Mullen. Is it the Mullen or the Mullinger? What was it?
Mullen.
Sorry.
By Bollinger.
I forgot by Bollinger. Yeah, I just combined the names. There's the Mullen. We could. What's wrong with the Mullen? Come on now.
We'll get there. We'll talk about it later. But yeah, anyway, again, it's only 12. However, in reading about this, I have seen people talk about, so in some areas, Amazon actually does contract out their delivery services.
Mm-hmm.
So not by UPS or FedEx, but they'll have like third-party fulfillment services cover an area.
Yep.
So they still do that last mile delivery type deal, but it's not FedEx or UPS or the post office. And I've seen where people have said in their areas, those third parties are already using Brightdrop vans.
Really?
And so that could be an interesting thing to me too, because if Amazon is seeing, oh, these third parties are using these vans and they like them, maybe we should get in on that.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe that's what's kind of sparked this checking out the vehicles. Brightdrop has also been a bit of a weird one these last few years. They've changed names several times and changed structure and whatnot. Initially, they were going to have their own dealer network, and then they got moved into just general GM fleet sales where you could only order them from the GM fleet service. I think it's called Involve, or Evolve, whichever one they call it. And then Brightdrop stopped being its own brand and they folded it into the Chevy brand. And so now it's the Chevrolet Brightdrop. And now they've made it to where you could, in theory, order a Brightdrop van from any Chevy dealer in the country.
Yeah, it does have the Chevy logo on it.
So
the one picture I showed you
thing.
of the van at Walmart, that was a Brightdrop?
It was.
Oh, interesting. And you said how many are on the road right now?
Well, Amazon says they have 12.
Oh, Amazon has 12. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Amazon says they have 12.
Gotcha.
But how many total? Who knows? I think I saw a number that said they only sold like 1,600 in the first half of 2025, which, I mean, is a pretty small number, but it's actually not a huge market.
Yeah, unless you have a contract with someone like a Walmart or an Amazon or something like that. I mean, that's who they're selling it to. It's not like someone's going on the lot and buying one of these. So,
speaking of Walmart, I need to have a quick aside. So, for those who are curious, it is currently Wednesday when we're recording this because I am traveling a bunch, and this is the only time I'm in my house this week. And this morning, was it this morning? Yes, it was this morning. We were in Memphis, about to head home, and I drove past the Electrify America there, and there was a Walmart e-Transit charging. And let me tell you, this e-Transit was parked in such a way he was completely blocking the road.
Is this the one at the mall there in Memphis? Wolf Chase, across from Wolf Chase?
Yes.
How do you block the road?
He was parked in the worst possible way, blocking the road and everything.
Was he going down the road with the chargers on the left or on the right? He didn't actually pull into a spot?
So, you know how that station is arranged? The chargers so you got your parking spots and the chargers are arranged in the same direction as the parking spots. They're not like at the front of a spot. There was a charger at the, how the EA likes to stagger the chargers to go like this. He was using the charger at the end of the parking spot and just plugged into it straight because the e-Transit, the port's on the front end on the nose. And just plugged into it straight. And so he just wasn't in a spot at all.
Should have gave him a little lesson, Sebastian. Went over there and talked to him.
There was a charger at my hotel. I didn't charge. I didn't need to charge.
Bougie Sebastian using that free hotel charging. So
it was also in the same parking lot as the Electrify America. So I was like, I'm good no matter what. There's also that supercharger right there too.
And there's a Tesla service center about a half mile down the road too. So
yep. I can tell you've been there a few times.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Anyway, sorry. I know that's just a random
Let's not talk about
but
Memphis Service Center. Let's not have a discussion. That's a trigger. Let's not talk about that. So
yeah. Anyway, sorry. I know that's a random aside. Cool to see that Memphis is operating electric van, or Walmart is operating electric delivery vans in Memphis.
Yep. Cool.
Also, if anyone from the Memphis government watches this, please, for the love of God, pave some roads.
Can't be any worse than the 30-40 split here in Arkansas.
It's worse.
So
It's
it
worse.
is?
It's so much worse.
I'm
There's
sorry.
a couple times I thought I lost a wheel.
Did you take? I'm assuming you took the Ioniq 5, right?
Of course I did.
Of course you did. Okay. You didn't take the Bolt? Come on now.
Anyway, okay, moving on. Sorry.
Next up, last story of the day.
Kinda.
Before we talk.
We might be getting some curbside vehicle to grid.
Oh.
Doesn't that sound cool?
Not
California
here,
has awarded... No, of course not. California has awarded a New York-based company $1.1 million towards the development of a curbside level 2 charging system with a neat trick up its sleeve. Vehicle to grid. The company, named It's Electric, intends to develop a curbside EV charger that's similar to what you would find all over Europe, has a detachable cable, etc., but is also capable of pulling power from the connected EV and then feeding it into the overall electric grid. So that's pretty cool by itself. And this project, I thought this was cool because I'm just like a tech nerd and I want to know how this works. Includes, development of the cable that you would need to do this. So it's a detachable J1772 cable, very similar to what you find in Europe, except in Europe they're using the Type 2 connector. But the cable is intelligent. It has a communication module built into the cable, meaning that the cable can do its own metering. So it can keep track of how much power is put into the EV and how much power is taken out of the EV on the cable level, which is cool. And the cable itself is what's tied to your account. So, like, the cable has all the identifying information needed to identify that it's yours and that, to bill the electricity to you or to pay you for electricity used, etc., through just a cable, meaning you could take this cable and if you have 5 EVs in your household or whatever, you could just use the same cable on all of them. Or you don't have to have any like plug and charge certificate based stuff in the EV itself, etc.
So you would just get a bill from the electric company.
Basically, or if they decide to pay you for times that they're using your EV's electricity or offset, whatever. But I just thought it was super cool that this is being built into the cable, not to the charger, not using like plug and charge certificates or anything on the vehicle, the cable.
So yeah, I like this idea, but I don't know why you would want to send electricity back to the grid.
So the main thing for this would be if we're looking in the lens of California.
Okay.
California's electric grid in areas is known for not being amazing.
Shady.
California is known for their rolling blackouts and things like that. Whereas this would, in theory, be able to, if there was a bunch of these, that connected to cars, could do vehicle to grid connection or whatever, things like that. If you were ever in a situation where maybe there would be a rolling blackout, they could start pulling power from all these connected vehicles to offset some of that, to offset and maybe not need to do the rolling blackout after all. To be able to kind of pump power back into it and raise so that they can hopefully meet overall demand. Especially you consider a lot of these EVs that sit plugged in are already charged.
Or they're down maybe 5-10%, yeah.
Or they're at 70%, 60%, whatever. If you could pull 10% of the battery and then avoid having a power outage, I feel like most people would take that argument or take that trade-off.
Yeah. So if I'm driving and I just decide, hey, excuse me, I'm going to plug in, am I getting like a % kilowatt thing? Or are they only going to pull it when they need it?
I'm assuming it's only going to pull when needed.
Gotcha.
Again, the tech isn't actually out yet.
Gotcha.
It's in development, so the implementation of it is subject to change, of course.
Good.
But I could see this, if I was in California, say I'm driving around, plug it in, and I get a thing saying, California wants to do a virtual power plant, for example, kind of like what their Tesla does and whatnot. Would you allow them to pull power from your EV and say they're going to pay you 10 cents a kilowatt hour? It probably wouldn't be that high, although it might. I mean,
It
that's
might.
they pay like 60
California's
cents a
got some high
kilowatt hour.
so
So,
kilowatt. That's like 40, 50 cents a kilowatt hour. I think
but
we've seen
like,
in
say your car
California.
is at 80% state of charge, it's parked, it just happens to be plugged in. You're not really planning on going on any long trips immediately, etc. And you could offload power for an hour, 2 hours, make like
So you'd have
three or
to have
four
a lot
bucks.
of these
Why not?
plugged in for it to make a dent, though.
True, but I mean, I think
Yeah.
the intention is there would be a lot of these there. And even forgetting the vehicle to grid thing, I think it's high time that we start doing curbside EV charging.
Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. I can get on board with that. I just don't see. But I guess it doesn't make sense. I just don't see.
I mean, I think the real thing
Yeah.
here is California is a state that has pretty high EV adoption as is, and I
Yep.
expect will only continue to grow.
Yep.
And so as you have more and more and more and more and more of these batteries just sitting around with however much juice in them at any given time, if they're going to be
Mm-hmm.
plugged in anyway, and you're going
I
to
mean,
have thousands to tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of these plugged in at any given time.
Yep.
And if you could install tens of thousands of these curbside units that do vehicle to grid, why not have the ability to potentially pull power from the connected vehicle?
Yep. I mean, this makes perfect sense in neighborhoods in California that all they have is curbside parking. Then I
Right.
can see it. I mean, if I'm living in San Francisco where I have to park in the front of my house and I have to use one of these, it makes perfect sense. It's plugged in charging. Oh, it's 9 o'clock at night. They need 2 hours with electricity. Sure, go ahead and take it. I don't care. Pull it from my car. I don't care. So yeah, I mean that I can get behind. So if it was like in residential neighborhoods, but if it's in commercial neighborhoods where maybe a lot of cars aren't plugged into at a certain time, then I don't know how much you're going to get. But cool idea. I think it's a really cool idea.
Yeah, so our next topic is an interesting one.
It is
Give me
quite
just
interesting.
a second.
Gonna pull everything up. It's about the tax credit,
It is about the tax credit.
but a little. It's a story we're trying to still work out some of the details for. So after hearing it, if you know a little bit more about it, or if you're a car dealer, we would love to hear your comments about it. So you want me to kind of give some backstory while you pull everything up, Sebastian?
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, as you all know, if you're frequent viewers of the podcast, we do a lot of stuff with Colin at Evolve Auto. Evolve Auto is a used EV dealership here in North Little Rock, Arkansas, and he's done pretty well with the tax credits. A lot of cars sold the tax credits, and before with the tax, recently, in the past with the tax credit, what he would normally do, according to his text message that he sent, he said before, to claim the tax credit, basically, you would file the purchase info, driver's license, and most of the time find out instantly if they're approved. So it was automatic. So you would go to a website, type it in, approved, and then he would get his money from the federal government for the credit about a week later. That's how it's been happening ever since, until Monday, when he got this weird email. And Sebastian, can you pull up the email? We kind of have some stuff redacted and things like that. So this is the email that he got. So as you can see,
So before we read this email, hold on.
So
there's a chunk that I didn't screenshot because I didn't want to redact it on the fly.
Yep.
So this email was sent in regards to a vehicle that was sold in May, in which Colin has already been paid.
Yep.
At the time that it was submitted, it said it qualified for EV tax credit, etc. He got this email yesterday at 4:49 in the morning. What the heck? Sorry, I just noticed that. Anyway, basically saying that it was now under review.
Yep.
And asking for this information here to be submitted. And you'll notice here at the bottom, you will be required to repay in full any advance payments received.
Gotcha. Also, just an update from a text from Colin, too. He says all tax credit filings now are being placed in pending status. They are not being automatically approved. This was as of Monday.
So the way this is worded to me, it's asking questions as if Colin still has the vehicle at first, because it's asking for like a copy of the full vehicle jacket or any document saying that the buyer did not take possession of the vehicle, and then the current odometer reader. but then says if it's been sold, they want the actual sales contract bill of sale. They want the odometer declaration. They want the buyer order agreement, etc.
Yeah.
And they want it returned by that, whatever that date is, which is 2 days after it was received,
Yep.
3 days after it was received. And this is all very interesting to me because this is a vehicle that was sold in May
Yeah.
that's already been paid out. Colin's already gotten the tax credit money from. Person has had their car now for May, June, July, August, 4 months.
So, and it looks like he said on this text message thread too that Alex, if you ever follow EV Auto, which is another EV Auto dealership out there, they're based out of Utah, and I believe they have a dealership in Nashville. He has been posting stuff too. Alex from EV Auto has also been posting stuff about them, asking for lots of stuff too. So this is starting to hit multiple dealerships, is what I'm seeing.
But I think too, a really interesting thing is, this is going away in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And like you said, he says now the IRS is no longer approving these immediately.
Yeah. So guess what?
Meaning
he's done with tax credit cars.
Yeah, because he wants to make sure he can get paid. Because that's kind of the whole point of the deal is like, the buyer can buy this car. They get this $4,000 down payment from the government. And now he has to write a deal and not know whether or not he's going to get the $4,000. You can't do that. You can't operate a business that way.
Yep. He said he's lost 3 deals already this week because of it. People have backed out, and he's basically not doing, basically he said for the next 2 weeks, we're not doing EV tax credits anymore. We're done. So
yeah, because and I don't blame him for that because if someone wants to use this $4,000 tax credit, that's great. But if a dealer can't know that they're getting the $4,000 until, hell, this is 5 months later.
Yep.
I don't know any business that would let you, loan $5,000 and then what's he supposed to do in 5 months if the $4,000 doesn't come through?
Yeah.
Does he have to go and try to claw it back? Does he eat the $4,000? Does he what's supposed to happen here? Anyway.
Yeah, because he says also no longer approved the credit transfer at the point of sale. So you're expected to let the driver ride without a guarantee of funds.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks. That is.
They're even asking dealers for proof that they bought the car. If they have the car, what they have technically had to buy it? Yeah. So it's weird. So I guess they're just trying to tighten things up here in the last couple of weeks to.
My guess is this caused such a big boom in EV sales that they're trying to come back and say, whoa, wait a minute, make it a little harder to get that $4,000.
They don't want to dish out all this money these last 2 months because we're hearing a lot of EV sales are probably going to be happening these last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Just, well, if that's the case, that I wonder then if it's going to be more difficult for those who said they'll file it on their own to file it on their own come January.
Yeah.
What's the hoops they're going to have to jump through to?
Lord.
Yeah, because a lot of dealerships in Arkansas here, especially new ones, not many of them have the off the top EV tax credit. Most of them make you file it through your taxes.
Yep.
So,
and in Arkansas, a big reason is just because they don't sell that many EVs, and they probably just didn't care to do the program. But this is the kind of stuff that a lot of dealers were probably nervous about doing point of sale over anyway.
Yep.
Is not knowing whether or not they're going to get paid.
Yep. Because you think about it, you sell 20 cars, that's $4,000 a piece, and you don't get paid on them. That could break your business right there, especially for someone like Colin, who, it's a 5 or 6 person operation for him, so something like that. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you gotta love the federal government, Sebastian, don't you?
Love is an interesting word to use there.
Love is an interesting word, yes. All right. So what have we had fun with last weekend? We had some fun. We drove 3 cars that were completely different from each other. So
we did have fun last weekend.
You drove one and I didn't get to drive one. So
that's true. You had to sit around and, I don't know,
play cards and clean cars. Actually, and we want to thank Colin because Colin actually got 2 of those cars for us. So what's the first one you drove, Sebastian?
We drove. I drove.
You drove.
You looked at. I drove. A Mullen 1.
What is a Mullen 1, Sebastian?
You don't know what a Mullen was?
Oh, I know how it is now, but
how dare you?
How dare you? First off, how dare you?
The Mullen 1 is a cargo van that is all electric, brought or homologated, using that big fancy word, by Mullen Automotive for the U.S. market. It is a Chinese van, Chinese EV. It's the Wuling, I think W1 or 100, I think
Kapow.
is the model. Kapow. And you can see some of the homologation right there. You've got that gigantic chin.
As we call it, the go-kart bumper.
And dude, I have not smiled that much driving a car in a very long time. I don't know that I smiled that much driving a Taycan or a Macan Turbo and I think it was just smiling because I was scared because I thought I was going to die. So, I mean, obviously it's a cargo van, so like it doesn't have that many bells and whistles and frills or whatever. But when I tell you, the seat is where the seat is, and if you're 6 foot tall, you cannot see anything out of the front windshield because your head is above the top of the windshield.
Yep.
And it has a top speed. I got it up to 68. Allegedly, the top speed is 60. Allegedly, the top speed is 60, but I got it up to 68 before it started cutting me.
Yeah. So you can see some of the inside pictures here. There is no passenger seats. It's a place for in this picture, a laptop and some gloves.
It doesn't have park.
Nope.
You just put the parking brake on and put it in neutral.
Then pray.
And
pray you
which
don't
I mean
live
is
on a
fine.
hill. Yep.
It's what you do if you have a stick shift car
If you have
or whatever.
if you have
but
a standard, yep.
you know, you could also just have a Prindle. It doesn't need to just have it had a Rendy, reverse neutral drive and efficiency.
Yep.
Speaking of, I got it up to 68 in efficiency mode, just by the way.
Yep. But the humming of the motor makes it difficult to have a conversation.
So I think we saw this in the video. We had to jump start the car because it was just completely dead. And then it actually has a note. We got to look at the Mullen 1 owner's manual. Also, just as a note, this car has 100 miles on it.
By the way,
he bought it with 17.
The Mullen owner's manual is about this big.
But it has in the manual specifically stating if the vehicle sits for more than 20 days, you will need to jump start it.
And it had sat for about a month, he said.
And it says you will have to jump start it, or before the 20 days is up, it tells you to go out, turn the car on, let it just sit there in the ready state. You don't have to drive it. Just let it sit there so that the high voltage battery is engaged, and then it will charge the 12 volt that way. I jumped it. Anyway.
Yep.
And when you jump it and you lift up the driver's seat, because that's where the 12 volt battery is, you can just see straight to the ground.
Yeah, there's no plastic covering or anything on it. It's straight ground. Yeah.
Anyway, and so that's why I don't know why I was so surprised when I took that thing out. I was so surprised I made Joel get in with me and drive slightly illegally so that he could hear.
It reminded me of driving in the back of my parents' Dodge station wagon with no seatbelts in the trunk. It brought back some memories like that.
We didn't go far. Anyway.
No, we didn't.
It was all motor noise.
Yes.
Actual, honest to God, bona fide motor noise. It was so fun.
It was. So you made the comment of how you felt that it was not very tall.
Uh-huh.
The reason they say that is so you can park in your garage.
Well, cool.
It says to them, all the one's height is less than 6.5 feet, meaning you can drive. Means your driver can park the vehicle in a residential garage. Why would my driver need to do that?
The issue is the seat is 4 foot off the ground. And so the vehicle's only 6.5 foot tall.
Yep.
You people are smart. You can do the math.
Yep.
So I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that seat was 4 feet off the ground.
And I'm trying to find some pictures of it, but it doesn't really show much here. I mean, here it is right here, but you can tell it's pretty high up. I can't zoom in here, but over on the right of the screen, I'm unable to
Anyway,
zoom
so
in.
that was interesting. Yep. That was fun. The video, we talk about what the heck the Mullen 1 is, and we talk about Mullen as a company and how weird that is. And yeah, it was fun to do. For me, at least.
Yep. Well, you can actually play with the battery capacity here and tell you how long it takes to charge. So,
ooh,
but it's not doing nothing. So I have no idea what's going on here.
I want to know where they're doing level 1 charging and getting 2.3 kilowatts out of it.
I know.
That must be Europe.
Level 2 is 6.6.
which is 32 amp. That makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense. But level 1 at 2.3, it's more like what, 1.7, 1.4?
I mean,
What is
2.3
it?
would be 20 amps. So I guess,
Would be 16 amps. Yeah, I think it's like 1.7, I think, isn't it? I don't know the math.
Yeah, because 20 amps would be 2400 watt or 2400 watts. So 15 amps is
Well, Sebastian's doing math again.
1800 watts.
Yep.
Anyway, interesting.
42 kilowatt hour battery with an estimated range of 110. So
Yep.
EPA test method. So yeah, I mean, if you that video will be out soon, probably in a couple of weeks. So if you're interested in weird cargo vans that one people that you have to get a hunch in your back to drive, then
I fully admit
the
that
Mullen one is the
video
van
is
for
only
you.
for me. Okay,
Yes.
I fully admit that vehicle is only, or that video is only for me. I only did it because it was fun.
Me and Sebastian on it, but we are going to release it. So,
and your view is just going to because you're wondering what the heck I was talking about by myself.
Because I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't get to see it because I was playing solitaire and helping Colin clean some cars while Sebastian did it. And then after that, we went completely the opposite end of the spectrum and did a Cybertruck.
We did finally,
which is awesome because it's the first Cybertruck we have driven. Don't forget, people, we live in Arkansas. No, see a lot of them around here. So, yeah. So, what did you think, Sebastian? As you called the dumpster.
Hold on, I'm trying to put it into words.
Get his thoughts together.
There is a lot about the car, truck, whatever.
Yep.
That is technically impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it that much. It was fine, but I don't think it would be at the top of my list if I was looking at electric trucks.
And driven.
It's not just because of how it looks.
Yep. And we've driven every electric truck now, I believe. Correct? Yeah, we have. Yeah, we've driven all of them that you can get here in the U.S.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, tech-wise, cool. I mean, it was good tech.
It's a Tesla.
It's a Tesla,
it has
so
it's got an infotainment system.
Have great infotainment, great sound system,
banging sound system.
Yes.
FSD was fine, although it did try to kill us.
Yeah.
It tried to pull out in front of the car. That was pretty obviously there. I don't know why it tried to pull out anyway.
It's all.
But I don't know.
You get to see it for yourselves. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's one of those you either love it or hate it. There's nothing like, oh, it's okay.
It's like, I didn't hate it. I just don't know that I'd pick it. And it's more than just because of how it looks.
Yeah, I would see myself in a Rivian over that any day, or a Silverado.
The steer-by-wire, while very technically impressive,
is scary.
Because I guess because we didn't get to drive it long enough to really, really actually get used to it. It just felt twitchy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
you have a tendency to oversteer.
And it was and it's very technically impressive. Don't get me wrong. It is honestly, it's almost a master class in using it's a 48-volt architecture, not a 12-volt architecture for the low voltage components, steer-by-wire with an actual yoke that is tuned for steer-by-wire capability so that you never have to do more than much of a turn. It's an actual yoke. It's not like a Model S, Model X yoke where they just took the steering wheel off and said good luck. And just there's a lot to it that was very technically impressive and has plenty of power, things like that. But I don't know. I came away from it and just I was expecting more. Vehicle. Maybe I don't know.
Yep.
Maybe it's just been so hyped up because it's been so we had to wait so long to drive one that by the time we finally did, I was just I was expecting more. I don't know.
It's like seeing a movie 6 months later after everyone has raved about it and you finally watch and you're like, it's all right. Know what the big fuss was about. It was okay.
Or when your friend tells you it's the best video game ever, and you finally play it, and you're like,
ever seen in your life, and you watch, you're like, all right.
And you're like, okay, this is fine, better, but
I've had better. So yeah. And then after that, from one end of the spectrum to the other, which is a car we were the car we were pleasantly surprised with was the 2025 Kona Electric.
Yeah.
So we had
So this was one that when I came into it,
standards going into this. So
the expectations were the complete opposite of the
yes,
Cybertruck.
yes.
You know, everyone has raved and raved and raved about how, like, once you get over the looks, it's such a good EV. It's such good to drive.
But
So
you can't
fun,
get over the
whatever.
looks.
The Kona, on the other hand, everyone's kind of just bashes on.
Yep.
It's a compliance EV. It has no power. It's gutless. It's a basics, whatever car. And so I had no real high expectations. I wasn't expecting anything great. I wasn't expecting anything good. I wasn't expecting I just kind of was just expecting it to be just a car. And honestly,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it is kind of just a car, but it was a good car.
It is a good car.
Like, it's not going to be the fastest
Did you say
charging car
the
in the
0 to
world.
60 is more than your Ioniq 5 or better?
It is technically faster than a rear-wheel drive Ioniq 5.
Yep.
Or at least before the refresh.
And we drew the base model.
No.
We drew the
SEL.
Drew the SEL, so the mid, yes.
Yeah, so just for funsies, a 2023 Ioniq 5 rear-wheel drive has 25 more horsepower than the front-wheel drive Kona Electric, but has a half-second slower 0 to 60. Which is funny, because you looked at me like I was crazy when I told you it felt like it was quicker than my car.
Yeah, you said, I feel like it's quicker than your car. I was like, that sounds like BS.
And so when I got home, I had to do some serious digging, because I was like, is my butt my butt gyro accelerometer really that out of tune? Like, what's happening? And no, I was right 100%.
Yeah. If you think what it competes with, Bolt, Equinox, probably its sister, the Nero, and what am I missing? I guess
A Leaf, I guess.
Leaf, I guess. It's very comparable and sometimes better than a lot of those cars. Maybe not the Equinox, probably, but it's a decent, if you're just driving around town, you can road trip with it. It has a max speed of 125? I think it says
It's about
150.
100.
100? Okay.
100.
Not a great charging curve or speed, but better than a Bolt. It's not bad. It has the CCNC software in it.
Software's okay.
Yeah.
CCNC is not amazing by any means, but it's usable. It's
Yep.
fine. It does battery preconditioning on route and manually.
Wired
It
CarPlay.
has wireless CarPlay.
Wireless?
CCNC. Yeah, CCNC is
Oh,
wireless.
I thought it was wired. I thought
We
I
used
remember
it wired
checking.
when we did it because I didn't feel like setting it up.
Gotcha.
But like, it has HDA2, which worked fine. It has
The fact
plenty
that
of room.
It really didn't want you to grab that steering wheel. You had to go several miles before it wanted you to touch that steering wheel. So yeah,
dude, and yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, honestly, not bad. And when you consider the one we drove after Hyundai incentives, because it does not qualify for tax credit, and I know incentives you can't really rely on that much because here today, gone tomorrow. 31 grand.
Yep.
That's
Not
not
a couple
bad,
others on there that if you qualify could get you almost to 30. So military.
that's not a bad rig for 31 grand.
No, it's not.
And that comes in below Equinox.
Yep.
That's right at when this new Leaf is supposed to start.
And
start
probably Bolt too. So
it's, yeah, and it's a car that you can buy now. You can just go to your Hyundai dealership and purchase if you want it.
Yep.
Anyway, I came away a lot better. It came away a lot better than I was expected to. And, in a lot of ways, it's still a Hyundai Kona, so it's still a subcompact crossover. That the gas version is like 20-something grand.
Yep.
And so it has some $20-something thousand car tendencies to it.
Yep.
But overall,
Yep.
I was expecting worse. Honestly.
Yep. All right. Anything else, Sebastian, we need to chat about before we wrap this up?
No, I think we're good. I did a very short trip this weekend, and eGMP charging is amazing, but I'll talk more about that once my big trip is done, which starts tomorrow.
You did have some hiccups, and we'll talk about that.
I had one random hiccup, but we can talk about that at a different time.
Are you going to record your drive to Kansas?
We'll see.
Surprise us, Sebastian.
We'll see.
Oh my gosh, 5 days without Sebastian. What am I going to do with myself?
Have a good time. I don't know.
Maybe I'll find those cups.
No, those are gone.
The mysterious missing EV Geek cups that we ordered 6 months ago are mysteriously disappeared. So, all right, Sebastian, take us out before I start coughing.
That is a wrap for today's episode. Thank you all for plugging into the Friday Charge. Be sure to subscribe to EV Geek Studios on YouTube and tap the notification icon to be notified about new releases. next week we will. What are we doing? Is next week the ID4? I should
Sure,
have
why
had
not?
this ready already. Sure. Next week we're going to release a review of the 2025 Volkswagen ID4, which has not been doing amazing, and honestly don't know why. If you guys have any thoughts or questions, drop them in the comments below because we would love to hear from you. So long, everyone, and we will see you on the next episode of The Friday Charge.